سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله فإنه حبل متين وعروة وثقى. صلوات صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all I advise myself for taqwa, parhezgari and piety, and then I advise all of you for the same. We are in a blessed month of Rajab, which is a very special month in our lunar calendar. It's one of 4 sacred months. And this month was known for worship, for devotion, and for umrah and certain du'as even before Islam. These, alaykum salam, the Arabs even before Islam would travel and go to Makkah for the visit of Holy House, and that's why to make it safe, so this month was declared as a sacred month, that no one was allowed to have any aggression against anyone, no fight, no war, no arguments, no aggression, no violence. So comfortably people should be able to travel and go for Umrah and then come back. Of course, this was one of the teachings of Hazrat Ibrahim. And over the time, while many of his teachings and many of the other principles of his faith were tempered, but some of his teachings and practices still remain intact. And one of those things was this Umrah during the month of Rajab, and being Rajab as a sacred month. Then when our Prophet Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam started preaching Islam, he himself introduced the importance of this month. Matter of fact, he received the first revelation in this month, and that was the event which we refer to it as Mab'as or Bi'sat. In Sunni community, they believe that revelation started in the month of Ramadan. But in our tradition, we believe that the beginning of this prophetic mission was on 27th of Rajab. That was the time and occasion when Prophet received the first revelation, which was Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Iqra Bismi Rabbikal Ladhi Khalaq, and the 5 ayat of Surah Iqra. Then later, the revelation in the month of Ramadan has its own significance and its own background. We will talk about that at a later stage. most probably in the month of Ramadan sometime. But we believe that it started in Rajab. And Prophet himself, his family, his companions would wait for this month of Rajab to do more kind of increased ibadat, increased worship, more nawafil, more devotions, more qiyam, more sajdas, more adhkar, more du'as. And also, as we see that Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, refers to this month as his month. And by the way, it is his month. He didn't mean in that way, but he was born in this month, and his birthday is on 13th of Rajab. But he is not calling month of Rajab his month because he was born in month of Rajab or this was his birthday. There was no tradition of actually celebrating the birthdays in his time. It's a very new tradition of celebrating the birthdays of prophets, or for example Imma, or the leaders, or meaning Masumeen, or even our own birthdays. So this is a very kind of a new tradition. In the time of Imam Ali, for example, when he said Rajab is my month, so he doesn't mean that since I was born in the month of Rajab on 13th of Rajab, so this is my month. He meant actually that he had made a commitment that he will spend this month, or he will increase his devotion, his worship, his ibadat, his fasting, whatever he was used to do all along in the year, but in this month he would increase. He would add up, and he would start actually his journey from the first of Rajab to go all the way to welcome the month of Ramadan, and then to reach to that experience of Laylatul Qadr. So Imam would start this journey not from the first of Ramadan, but he would start from the first of Rajab. And that is what our Urafa, our those great scholars that who are the masters in the area of Sayr Suluk, and those ulama that who have some special emphasis on spirituality and devotion and this area, they say that if really you want to get the best out of month of Ramadan, then you need to start from Rajab. Some of us are exceptions, but most of us, we are such human beings that it takes some time and effort for us to actually change our regular tone or regular what you call the routine or to moods, and to really get into the mood of doing something. If something abruptly comes, or anything when we come to in the beginning, we don't know what we are doing. We are just doing because everybody else is doing, but we are not enjoying. At least we are not getting the best out of it. We are not taking the full advantage of it. As we will talk about, inshallah, in the month of Ramadan or in the Shaban, that many times our fastings are not truly fastings. Only technically we are fasting. But mostly those are hunger strikes. Those are only, alaykum salam, those are only depriving ourselves from food. But that's it. The fasting of most of the people or the common people is that they deprive themselves from food. But is their fast truly a fast? The fast which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted them to fast, or the Prophet or Imams? No. And after fasting for 10 days or 15 days or something like that, now slowly we feel that now we are really getting into that spiritual mode, and we start kind of feeling now some spirit. But that's almost half of Ramadan is gone. And now we feel very bad in those special nights, that meaning here is Laylatul Qadr, and what did I do in these 19, 20 days or 22 days? And in those very little opportunities which we have at the end of Ramadan, then again, for a variety of reasons, we don't really get full out of it. And in the end of Ramadan, really again, if we are people who have that kind of spiritual background, we have feelings of sorrowness, sadness, sense of loss, sense of deprivation. What a kind of opportunity which I had, and I missed it. I really didn't do good. So many of us, if we are handed over the paper to grade ourselves and see how did we do in the month of Ramadan, and how much really we were able to, because in the month of Ramadan every moment is precious, every minute is precious. So Prophet has a khutbah, and where he says the anfasuhum tasbih, there just these breaths are considered as tasbih. So every moment is precious, every minute, every hour, every day, every night. And ibadat is not only the formal nawafil, which are important, and we have to have a good portion of the ibadat in the month of Ramadan is the nawafil and the qiyamul layl and doing prayers with nawafil and full devotion. But again, this is not all. There are so many other things which we need to do in the month of Ramadan. And that is our, for example, soul searchings, self-evaluation, finding and our strengths and weaknesses, and then making an effort to address those issues, reconnecting with our Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the best terms, and then reconnecting with our parents, with our grandparents, with our uncles and aunts, with our arham, with our family, siblings, cousins, relatives, nephews, nieces, our sons, our daughters, our neighbors, our community, charity, our duties toward our society. There are meaning, there is no limit, and we feel that, oh, since I'm fasting, so I cannot keep up. I need to sleep the whole day because I'm fasting. So I will wake up the whole night, but then I will sleep the whole day. I cannot help you. I cannot do anything for you. I cannot really, whatever little bit good we were used to do in the month of Ramadan, it's up. Instead of increasing, it is closed, because I'm fasting. Or offending so many people and fighting with so many people and disrespecting so many people, and then justifying, I did it because I was fasting. I couldn't control my anger and I couldn't control myself, and I offended you just because I was fasting. So then what happens, that the point was, we don't really do well, and we don't take the full benefit of month of Ramadan if we start from the month of Ramadan. So if we start from the month of Rajab and get used to with increased nawafil, with increased prayers, with increased du'as, and with fasting during the month of Rajab and then in the month of Sha'ban, so hopefully in the month of Ramadan we have mastered these areas. Now we have a good control of our time, we can plan well, we can execute well, we can do all these things and make sure we can make a plan for the month of Ramadan in advance. That during the days I will do this, during the nights I will do this, during the weekdays I will do this, during the weekends I will do this, and in the first 10 days I will do this, then the second 10 days I will do this, then the last 10 days I will do this, and then in the Layal al-Qadr, for example, I will do this. So when we have a plan, then following the plan becomes easy. Then when we have a detailed plan in hand, then it becomes easy to follow the plan or to implement the plan. But the problem is most of the time we have no plans. When we have no plans, we can do only one thing or two things and then that's it. We don't know what to do else because we don't have anything. But if we plan things ahead of time, then we have at least list of things. I have done this, but this is the next, and then this is the next, and then this is the next. So then I can keep going from one thing to other, from one other thing to other, and then I can accomplish more. That's the plan. So month of Rajab, spiritual journey starts. And all of you are, alhamdulillah, resourceful people. You have these books of du'as at your homes. These books of du'as are now available online. There are websites where you can just go and open the Mafatihul Jinan or other books of du'as, open the chapter of Rajab, and you will see all those a'mal over there and the devotions. So that is the recommendation, that we should all try to get into it. And when we will inshallah do this during the month of Rajab, it will prepare us inshallah doing even better in the month of Sha'ban. As Imam Ali said, this is my month, then the month of Sha'ban is considered the month of Prophet. And then month of Ramadan is, there are two narrations. One is it is a month of Allah or it is a month of community, month of Ummah. So in both ways it's the same thing. So, but the point is these 3 months can really help us a lot. If we plan, they say that people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. Nobody plans to fail, but most of the people, they fail to plan, and when they fail to plan, then they fail. So our scholars, our ulama, urafa, those people that who were even common people, I remember the generation of our grandparents would invest bulk of their time in ibadat. Now today we say, oh, they had nothing to do and we are running the whole world. If you compare their routines and what they were used to do, and without these cars and without these machines, without these devices, they had to do everything manually. Today we find so much just ready, we only heat and just go ahead and enjoy. The frozen stuff is always available. The half-cooked stuff is always, the fruit is also cut, the juice is there. They had to even grind the wheat to begin with, to have some flour first. Daily basis they were grinding. And they were not only grinding the wheat, they had to grind the spices also. And sometimes they had to go away and to bring these things from the outside on daily basis because there were no refrigerators. Every day you have to go for shopping. Every day you have to, and then everything by walk. And meaning, yeah, it is easy to say today, oh, they had nothing to do and they had very simple life and we are the most busy people and we are doing this and that. Yes, our challenges are our challenges, but they had also so many challenges. But they had higher sense and better sense of their priorities. They were not too much in race with one another. And they had some better examples in front of them, more inspirational figures available in every family, in every street, in every extended family. There were so many of those inspirational people, and people would look at them and they would get inspired. They would get influenced by them. Those grandparents and those elderly parents and those elderly uncles and aunts, and even some of them were young in good age, they were role models and they were a blessing for our families and for our communities. My teachers were used to tell me that when they were studying in Najaf, they would say we would finish this recitation of Quran at least 3 times in the month of Ramadan. Every 10 days we would finish. Now you can understand that how much they were used to recite on daily basis. Now if we sit down and if we can recite half a juz or 1 juz Nishan-e-Haidar, so then that is something that, oh, we have conquered the whole world. Because the concentration spans have become so little and distractions are so much, particularly this shaitan which we carry, meaning many of us, we don't have sajdaga or tasbih or anything with us, but the shaitan is always there with us. And this distracts. Every moment there is a tick and there is a tick and there is a tick, and then we think that this is the most important message I have to check. And let me see, and there is no concentration, we cannot do anything. You need very strong nerves to discipline yourself. Again, I am not against it, I have it also, but I have not brought it here in the masjid. It is in my office. So, it is a very good device, and we can really use it in our advantage. But we need to know how to use it and not to abuse it or not to get used by it. So, this is just one example. But the thing is, now we have this problem of concentration. Even this 2 rakat prayer, they say the first thing after 2 rakat prayer is the person checks this phone. You go for Hajj, you go for Ziyarat, you go for Umrah, instead of concentrating on Tawaf, reciting du'as they have in hand, and they are doing all this and showing the whole town back home, the family, everybody, I am in Tawaf and this is my first shot and this is my second one and I am doing Tawaf. Baba, what is this? Concentrate just on Tawaf, on dhikr. You are in Masjidul Haram. Your connection should be with your God. You are all the way you came here to please God. So, but the point is that even while we are in Masjidul Haram, while we are under the dome of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, you see so many people are showing the whole world, I am under the dome of Imam Hussain. There is no need for that. Everyone will inshallah have tawfiq and they can go there and have this experience. And if you want to do that, maybe while you are leaving on the last day, if you want to make some small video or something for your family or for those who have not been there, you can do that, but not every time. So the point is, in order to read Quran, and read Quran, for example, one juz at least in one sitting, or half juz in one sitting, again you need strong nerves, you need discipline, you need concentration. Nawafil also, we know that Sunnis do Taraweeh, and sometime when we are talking with our Sunni friends, and particularly those who are ulama, we tell them that your Taraweeh is not that much as we have Nawafil from Ahlul Bayt for the month of Ramadan. Yarhamukumullah. We have 1000 rakat. 1000 rakat, which we need to pray during the month of Ramadan, which is much more than their Taraweeh. But we celebrate, we say, oh, it's not wajib, so we are not going to do it. Their Taraweeh is also technically not wajib for them, but it is a tradition and they are following it. But again, in order to do that 1000 rakat, it needs a big commitment and lot of discipline. And definitely we have to then decrease the amount of iftar and all those kind of things which normally we do in evenings. Then you have to, again, if you have a plan, then you will have discipline, you will have an order, then you will just do those kind of. People are doing it, those who are doing it, but it can be done. So I will conclude. It was just a reminder. It's a little late reminder. I was supposed to do it by the end of Jumada Saniya or in the very beginning of Rajab, but because we were some khutbahs were, I think one day it was cancelled, khutbah Jum'ah, and I didn't get the chance. But it is still, we are in the very beginning. We are in the beginning of the month of Rajab, and we are also still in the January. If you want to make your new plans for the new year, still you are in January. And for the spiritual season, we are still in the month of Rajab. Sit down, do some soul searching, evaluate where you stand, see where you want to go, what you want to do, and then write it down. Write it down and make a plan, make a schedule, make a commitment, how you are going to do, how it will be done, which day, which time, all these details, how much charity, how much volunteering, how much phone calls, how much writing letters, how much sending these wishing Ramadan, blessed Ramadan, wishing Eid Mubarak, all these things needs plans. There was a time when we were used to receive all those Eid Mubarak cards, remember the Eid cards and so much. No, there is no Eid card. So at least a good, nice message of Eid Mubarak or message of Ramadan Mubarak. And then touching base with all those relatives and all those friends. These are all good deeds. Again, we need to make a list. We need to know how many people, and particularly those that which we have abandoned or no, we are not in very good contact with one another, and there is meaning some distance or some gap. So these opportunities help us to connect and reconnect with our Lord, with our God, with our family, with our brothers, with our friends, with ourselves. Again, many times we are away from ourselves and we don't know where we are. We are lost. We don't know where we are going, where we are heading, and we need to discover ourselves. We need to, again, after discovering ourselves, we need to catch ourselves. We need to discipline ourselves. We need to remind ourselves so many things which we have been kind of neglecting. Self-control. After all, the month of Ramadan, the biggest goal is self-control. So these are some reminders. I pray that Allah gives me tawfiq to live what I am preaching, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you also tawfiq to do whatever you can do, and this will inshallah help us. Let's start this journey from now on, from Rajab, and go all together hand in hand inshallah in the month of, until the month of Ramadan. Recite salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. آل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all I advise myself for taqwa, parhizgari and piety, and then I advise all of you for the same. I don't have again time, but since it is important, I don't want to skip it. The aggression and the criminal activities of this occupying regime in Palestine are ongoing, and now they have crossed the limit of even 100 days. More than 100 days have gone by, and that criminal army is continuing doing that aggression against the defenseless people and the civilians and the children and the women. We have seen how shameless these international forums and international organizations and so-called champions of human rights and civil rights, and I don't know, they are, if one woman gets hurt in Iran, there is a Qiyamah in the whole world, and the whole world has to stand up to defend that woman. But thousands and thousands and thousands of these honorable women, mothers, wives, daughters, young children are being killed and attacked, and no one is standing up for them. These are the hypocritic kind of stances which we see, and I don't see anything really, I don't feel that there is any hope from these criminals. They have lost actually their mind. They are all kind of being blackmailed by one another. What I want to say, that this is happening because Muslims were weak, and they are still weak. Nobody is going to mess with someone who can react or who can retaliate. who has power. Being weak and being poor and being defenseless is not a virtue. Sometime when we talk about this irfan and tasawwuf and akhlaq, we start preaching poverty. Yes, poor or rich, both are equal in the eyes of God, and we don't know who is more close to Allah. Taqwa is a different thing. But preaching poverty, poverty is again mother of so many other evils. It will deprive you from higher education. It will deprive you from community institutions. It will deprive you from community services. It will provide you from strong defense. It will deprive you from having your strong defense, and so many other things. So sometimes we mix the issue of individual and a nation. Maybe for an individual, it's okay to be somebody hand to mouth and going check by check to what they say, check by check or check to check, I don't know, but meaning it's okay for as an individual, but it's not okay for a nation. It's not okay for a community. It's not okay for an institution, because they must have ample resources to take care of the community or the nation or country or whatever. So it is because of that we remained behind in education, we remained behind in economy, we remained behind in technology, we remained behind then also in so many areas. We don't have even internationally one channel for media, for example. We don't have media, we don't have voice. At international level, any agency for human rights or human services or those kind of things, something which is at international level. But we have those tall buildings competing with one another in building. Who can build taller building in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or Malaysia or here or there, and purchasing those soccer teams and other teams here and there, and doing all those kind of things. We cannot say we don't have wealth as a ummah, or we don't have resources, but we don't have leadership. We don't have that kind of realization in this whole community as a nation. So, since there is no time, I am not going to, and you know this, I don't have to tell you, this is not anything new, that what is our position in the world, in the nations of the world. Where do we stand? Now, of course, we have to do all those things, but I am going to talk about one point, just in 1 or 2 lines. My brothers and sisters, when these things happen, we expect the other communities and other forums and other countries and other people to come and cry for us and help us and rescue us and stop the aggression and do things for us, because we are bechare, we are defenseless, and we are sharif log, and we are the poor, and we are innocent, and we deserve mercy of people. That's basically, we are begging the ceasefire. We are begging the attention of all the powerful countries and powerful institutions, forums. Literally, we are begging. Nobody cares about us. So, one thing what we need to do, we need to understand and realize that this activism is very important for us. You look at the history of other nations, particularly we always bring the example of Jews. They had gone through, they had a very bad history, sufferings. They had suffered a lot, no doubt about that. We can have a debate on some of the events and the size of or the amount of the killings or whatever, but meaning they had suffered persecutions, migrations, aggressions, but they learned lessons. And they learned the lessons, and then they planned that never again. We are not learning the lessons. One of the lessons which we need to learn, that we need to have a very strong sense of activism. Every member of the Muslim community should be an activist in his or her capacity, in his or her background. We should all learn how to act, how to react, how to speak, how to write, how to engage with others, how to build alliances, and how to bring the awareness to the world, and how to kind of have impact on this what world thinks about. We are again very behind in that area. So many Muslim communities are now realizing. We have also realized, we have been thinking about it from some time, but finally we have made the plans, and I think there is an event tonight at 8 o'clock. So I encourage you, if you can come and participate, please come and participate. If you cannot participate tonight, these are going to be series of events, and they will always invite you and try to be part of these activities. Don't think that by staying away you are safer. Don't think that, oh, this is not if I will stay away from it, I will be away from trouble. First of all, it is not for causing trouble, it is self-defense. We need to have our defense. We need to have at least some people that who can cry for us, who can call for us, who can reach out, who can go to the courts, who can go and do certain things. Any one of us tomorrow can be in trouble and in jail. So you need someone. If you have a plan, if you have some people, volunteers, a system, a committee, some resources available, at least you will have an attorney there. You will have someone that who will be there to go after for you. Otherwise, everybody will be hiding here and there. Oh, it is, you don't know, this brother had very bad charges, and because of these charges now I cannot really go out and I cannot do anything. Charges, the governments are crooked. They always bring those worst charges against when they go after people. So never pay attention to those charges. Governments are most of the time, 99% they have false charges, and they have the exaggerate in those charges. And we should always feel for that brother or that sister to go there and to try to help. We are not helping because of those bad things, but this is our brother, this is our sister. And we know that we don't believe in these charges until these are proven. So the point is, we need to understand this is a call of the time. It's almost past due, and everyone should feel the responsibility. Everyone should give some time and some effort to make this initiative happen, and then inshallah we move forward. Recite a salawat. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي بن أبي طالب وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة الزهراء وعلى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان وعلى آبائه الكرام ما اتصل الليالي والأيام. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.